Welcome to PT Live. Poland is increasingly punching its weight in international trade, and that means that the logistics and the warehouse markets are booming. Supply chain is very important, and Poland is obviously well connected in the heart of Europe, and it has the Baltic coast. On the Baltic coast, of course, the city of Gdansk is a major thoroughfare for the Baltic Sea, and the port of Gdansk is very well placed. It can handle also the largest container ships in the world. So it's gaining in European and global supply chain importance. To find out more about Poland's position in global trade and how the port of Gdansk fits into that, we have with us Marcin Osowski, who is the Vice President of Gdansk Port Authority. Marcin, welcome. How does the port of Gdansk fit into the European global supply chain? Which routes are you connecting?
Well, we are the largest ocean deep water port on the Baltic Sea, and the port of Gdańsk is able to call the largest vessels which sail in the world. So we connect Far East Asia. We get two regular deep water services from China, from South Korea, from Singapore, and we are becoming the biggest transshipment hub for the Baltic Sea and some port of the North Sea regarding the short sea. And our strategic target is to expand the routes from north to south to link the Baltic Sea and the Black Sea through the countries of our hinterland.
And how, in terms of volume, how much do you process, let's say annually, in terms of TEUs?
Well, the port of Gdańsk is a versatile port, so containers regarding TEUs is just about 40% of all our handling. And last year it was about 2 million TEUs, but the total cargo handling in 2018 was 50 million tons.
50 million. What's your main challenge now in terms of, like, what challenges are you facing, and then on the opposite side, what are your major opportunities?
We can divide different kind of challenges, which to a degree also can be the opportunities. One of the biggest challenge is the current US-China clash regarding the global trade, because it can cause some shortage or shrinking the global trade regarding the maritime routes. And competition from other ports. This is something we have to be very cautious about, and we have to keep an eye on it.
Sure, but it also probably spurs you to try harder as well.
Yes, certainly. Everybody does exactly the same: expand infrastructure, expand and take care of connectivity and presence on global markets. What is our opportunity? First of all is the new Silk Roads, because first time over the 500 years Poland and the port of Gdańsk can be on this main corridor in the global trade routes, because the Atlantic Ocean is not the main highway in these trade routes, but potentially the landmass of Eurasia can be this corridor. And Poland is on this line, and the port of Gdańsk is the most versatile port in this part of Europe.
When you say versatile, what do you mean by that?
Well, in our logo we got 7 colorful spots which represent 7 types of cargo. So we accept the container port, we are also the ro-ro, passengers, break bulk, and other type of cargo.
And in Poland, that you're the only one which can process so much?
No, there are 3 major ports, Gdańsk and Gdynia. We are quite like a twin ports, and together this is something I think interesting information, that together Gdynia and Gdańsk perceived as a one big hub, because that market perceives us, handles 75 million tons, which gives us 11th position in Europe. And the third port is Szczecin.
Okay. And what's your ambition? Where do you see the port being in, let's say, 10 years?
Well, we've been asking these questions all the time, and therefore last quarter we updated, after 1 year of hard work, our updated strategy for 2030 with the plans for 2050. And the key message in this strategy is quite simple. The port of Gdańsk should be number one in as many areas as possible. So
number one in Europe, or
number one in the Baltic Sea. That's the primary target. Of course, if it's in Europe, that's great. But we are not on the ocean lines. We are on the Baltic Sea. This is the fringes of the world ocean. On the Baltic. Yeah. On the Baltic Sea, and first in total cargo handling, first in containers, but also first in, for example, CSR implementation, or first as an innovative hub and the generator of the new technologies which the port can gather for the city, for the region, and for the country. Mm-hmm.
I mean, Poland, it is gaining a lot of, let's say, strength in terms of international trade, international business. You can see that. I mean, many things we've been seeing, for example, like the fact that the trade agency, is opening offices all around the world. Do you see this yourself, just in volumes, just in interest from the international markets?
Obviously. Last year we opened the first foreign trade office, and it was the big event for Poland.
You did yourself?
Yes. This is the first trade office of Port of Gdańsk in Shanghai. And we got 2 people recruited and employed by us, and they are fully engaged and very busy regarding the participation in events, establishing some contacts, and supporting our customers and clients to deal with Chinese partners. Mm-hmm. And this was like a pilot project, and now we think about expanding this network, and perhaps I think the second trade office will be open in Minsk, Belarus. Really? In the heart of our hinterland, yes.
Really? Yeah.
We believe that the East and countries which are landlocked, like Belarus, like Slovakia, can be the best target for us, and we can become the port of the first choice for those countries.
Belarus, so for the region, for Central Eastern European region, potentially?
Yes, this is a 100 million consumers with the GDP growth about 4% in total, and total volume of this economy is comparable to for example, German economy, which is important also for our Chinese partners.
Interesting. There's a central port project which is underway at the moment. Can you tell us a little bit about that, please?
Oh yes, this is like opus magnum of the port of Gdańsk, and I'm keen to be head of this of the team delivering this project. This is the concept of being number one, because the central port will comprise about 9 deepwater terminal, different functions: container terminal, new passenger and ferry terminal, potentially shipyard. But the beauty of this project is that all depends on the market. If the operators say no, the containers are not good in the next 10 years, so we can convert it easily for something else, for example for the grain terminal, or we can stop only on passenger terminal and wait for better times. But we have to be ready when the market will grow steadily or rapidly like now for the next 5-10 years.
Okay. You're organizing a major event in Singapore at the end of the month. What is it, and why Singapore?
Yes, this is another evidence that we try to be a global player. Why Singapore? Because the first half of the year, the PSA, the largest container operator, successfully purchased the DCT, our container terminal, and the PSA is the company from Singapore. And therefore we decided to invite Polish blue chips, the largest exporting companies, to Singapore to establish new contacts and to make the business relationship between Singapore and Poland, which are not so mature so far, try to enable and get some potentially new cargo volume to our port. But also we are like ambassadors of Polish economy and Polish logistics industry, and therefore Singapore.
Okay, thank you. I mean, good luck with everything.
Thank you.
Thank you.